What if I told you that rage could actually be wiser than reason? Or that your deepest passions hold more truth than a lecture ever could? It's a pretty wild thought, right? But that's the provocative idea we're diving into today, straight from the mind of the visionary poet William Blake. And it's an idea that really challenges everything we think we know about wisdom.
There it is. The tigers of wrath are wiser than the horses of instruction. Just let that one sit for a second. It's poetic, it's kind of violent, and it's completely the opposite of what we're usually taught. I mean, our entire world, especially education, is built on the idea of the horse, on careful instruction. And here comes Blake, telling us to look to the tiger instead.
So what on earth could Blake mean by this? How could a ferocious wild creature possibly be wiser than an animal that's been trained for discipline and purpose? Well, that's the incredible puzzle we're going to piece together right now.
Okay, so at its very heart, this proverb is setting up a huge conflict. On one side, you've got the tiger. This represents our raw instinct, our passion, that untamed, wild energy we all have. And on the other side, the horse. It's a symbol for reason, rules, and everything that's been domesticated by society. Blake saw these two forces in a constant tug-of-war for the human soul.
So, let's start where Blake directs his first attack, the classroom. He was convinced that formal education wasn't just about teaching you things, but that it was also about making you unlearn something incredibly vital, your own natural genius.
The core concept for Blake here is what he called the poetic genius. And listen, for him, this wasn't something just for poets or artists. He believed it was this divine, creative spark that exists inside every single one of us. And he argued that rigid, rule-based education was pretty much designed to stamp that flame out.
And this really shows what he meant, the horses of instruction. They stand for a mind that's been tamed, right? Trained to follow a predictable path, never asking why. It's a spirit that's been made subservient, walking what Blake called the straight road, a straight and narrow path with absolutely no room for creative detours or real discovery.
But the tiger is the total opposite. Its movements aren't dictated by some master. They burst forth from an internal, almost divine impulse, what Blake saw as a kind of holy fire. And this isn't just chaos. It's a kind of unpredictable grace, a wisdom that comes from deep within, not from some book.
So this critique of the classroom, it builds into this really powerful psychological argument. Blake is basically taking us from the outside world of rules and plopping us right into the internal landscape of our own minds, making us question the very nature of our deepest desires. So if you look at it psychologically, the tiger is all about our powerful primal drives, our gut instincts. Blake called them infernal desires, but he didn't mean they were evil, not at all. He saw them as a healthy, vital part of who we are, fighting back against all the unnatural rules and constraints society puts on us.
So if this energy is so natural and so vital to being a whole person, what's the one label that organized religion and society have slapped on it to keep it under control? What's the word they use to make us feel ashamed of it?
Sin. It's that simple, and it's an incredibly powerful tool for control. Blake is basically saying that what we're all taught to call sin is often just the authentic expression of our own life force, our own internal truth screaming out against a world that's trying to tame it.
And this brings us right to the heart of what the tiger's wisdom really is. It's the wisdom of authenticity. It's that profound insight you get when you refuse to let your true spirit be tamed, or, as Blake put it, devoured by the purely rational mind. It's about psychological freedom.
And here's the thing, this internal psychological freedom, it doesn't just stay inside you. For Blake, the moment you truly embrace your authentic self, you're pretty much guaranteed to clash with a society that demands you conform. And that's when this proverb becomes a powerful call to action.
So in the wider social world, the horses are those citizens who've been conditioned to just passively accept unjust laws, what Blake called the stones of law. They've been instructed to obey without question, and in doing that, they actually help build the walls of their own mental and physical prisons.
But then you have the tigers of society. They're the rebels, the activists, the ones who feel a righteous anger, a wrath, when they see hypocrisy and injustice. And for Blake, this passion isn't a character flaw. It is the very engine that drives them to tear down those prisons.
I mean, just think about how radical this idea is. Blake is telling us that one single, honest moment of intense, righteous emotion is more intellectually valuable, it's wiser, than an entire lifetime spent just memorizing facts under an oppressive system. Wisdom isn't about what you know, it's about having the courage to feel and act on your own innate freedom.
But, and this is the brilliant twist, Blake isn't just saying we should all become tigers and unleash chaos and destroy everything. No. He's making a much more subtle and, frankly, profound point about the absolute necessity of balance.
And this other quote from him just captures it perfectly. Improvement makes straight roads, but the crooked roads without improvement are roads of genius. Society needs those straight roads. It needs order, structure, a way to improve things. But those crooked, unpredictable paths of passion and instinct, those are the roads of genius. You can't have one without the other.
So you see, we really do need both. The horse gives us the safety and order of the status quo, the straight roads, but without the tiger's disruptive energy, that safety just becomes stagnation. The tiger is the force that pushes us forward. Its wrath is dangerous, for sure, but it's the necessary ingredient for all true progress.
And this is the ultimate takeaway. Blake is sending us a warning. If you let your life be guided only by the horses of instruction, by logic and rules and what you're supposed to do, you are living in a cage. Now, it might be a very comfortable, safe, maybe even a gilded cage, but it is a cage nonetheless. The tiger holds the key.
So I'll just leave you with this to think about. We all walk both of these paths in our lives, don't we? The straight roads of our duties, our jobs, our routines, and the crooked, unpredictable roads of our passions, our creativity, our genius. The question Blake leaves us with is a really powerful one. Which road are you walking on right now? And which one holds your wisdom?